The drone observes a snow-covered street with deep drifts along the sides. A lone enemy moves across the open area, clearly visible against the white ground. As the drone closes in, there is a brief attempt to resist. The drone scans a partially destroyed building from above. Inside, a lone enemy is seen lying against a wall, motionless. There is no reaction as the drone aligns its approach. The drone flies high along a road and detects a small group of motorcycles. As it begins to descend, the column breaks apart. Two riders continue forward without stopping. The last rider turns back and leaves the area. One stops, steps away from the motorcycle, and reacts to the drone above. Exposed on the road, the movement is brief. Moments later, activity along the route ends. The drone spots movement along a narrow riverbed. An enemy enters the water, trying to stay concealed. From above, the position remains exposed. The drone observes a damaged armored vehicle resting in open terrain. Beneath the wreck, movement becomes visible near the tracks and debris. An enemy is using the destroyed vehicle as cover, remaining low and still. From above, the position is clearly outlined despite the concealment. The drone holds altitude, keeping the area centered. After a brief adjustment, the approach begins. The wreck offers no real protection from above. Moments later, activity beneath the vehicle ends. The camera remains fixed on the silent position. The drone moves above a snow-covered area filled with dense bushes and low trees. Tracks in the snow reveal recent movement along a narrow path. A lone enemy walks through the bushes, partially concealed by branches. Snow clings to clothing and vegetation, slowing the movement. From above, the route is clearly visible despite the cover. The drone maintains altitude, observing without rushing the approach. The figure continues forward, unaware of the tracking above. As the distance closes, the bushes offer no protection from the air. The drone aligns its approach and holds a steady course. Moments later, movement among the snowy bushes ends. The camera lingers briefly on the quiet terrain. The drone tracks movement across a wide snow-covered field. A lone enemy walks through the open terrain, leaving clear footprints behind. With no cover nearby, the route remains fully exposed from above. The drone adjusts its angle and closes the distance. Moments later, movement in the snowy field ends. The drone moves steadily above an open field with no natural cover. A lone enemy is visible crossing the terrain at a measured pace. From the air, every change in direction is easy to track. The field offers no concealment, only shallow snow and uneven ground. The drone maintains altitude, observing without rushing the approach. The figure continues forward, unaware of the presence above. As the distance closes, the route remains fully exposed. The drone adjusts its angle and commits to the descent. Moments later, movement in the field comes to an end. The camera holds briefly on the quiet, empty ground. The drone moves above a snow-covered area filled with dense bushes and low trees. Tracks in the snow reveal recent movement along a narrow path. A lone enemy walks through the bushes, partially concealed by branches. Snow clings to clothing and vegetation, slowing the movement. From above, the route is clearly visible despite the cover. The drone maintains altitude, observing without rushing the approach. The figure continues forward, unaware of the tracking above. As the distance closes, the bushes offer no protection from the air. The drone aligns its approach and holds a steady course. The drone observes a road section where two vehicles are stopped close together. Both appear occupied and stationary, blocking the route. From above, the position is clear and exposed. The first drone aligns its approach and commits to a direct dive. After the strike, the camera shifts to the second vehicle. A different drone enters from another angle. It stabilizes briefly, then descends on the remaining target. Within moments, activity on the road ends. The area returns to stillness. The drone surveys a damaged village with empty streets and broken buildings. A lone enemy moves calmly between ruins without visible urgency. From above, the route is open and easy to follow. The drone maintains altitude, observing the movement for several seconds. As the distance closes, the figure notices the drone overhead. A brief attempt is made to disrupt the approach. The action has no effect on the trajectory. The footage transitions into an extended montage of ground engagements across different locations. Each scene begins from a high, detached perspective. Individual figures appear briefly, then disappear as the camera moves on. There is no single front line visible in these moments. Instead, the scenes reflect how fragmented this war has become. Movement happens in fields, along tree lines, near damaged buildings, and across open ground. From above, routes and positions are easier to read than from the ground. What looks like cover below often offers little protection from the air. The drone shifts from one location to another without pause. No moment is given special weight. Each scene lasts only a few seconds before the next cut. This rhythm repeats throughout the sequence. The montage shows how encounters happen suddenly and end just as quickly. There is no build-up, no warning, and rarely any opportunity to change the outcome. The camera never lingers on details. It records movement, reaction, and then silence. Across different frames, the environment changes, but the pattern remains the same. Open terrain alternates with broken villages and forested areas. Weather conditions vary, from clear ground to snow-covered fields. Despite these differences, the result is consistent. From the air, distance and height remove emotion from the scene. What remains is a sequence of actions reduced to movement and stillness. The footage does not attempt to explain who advances or who retreats. It documents only what happens in each brief moment. This is how much of the war is now experienced through cameras rather than direct contact. Drones replace observation posts and patrols. They compress time and space into short, decisive encounters. The montage continues without commentary on individual outcomes. There are no faces, no names, and no voices from the ground. Only patterns repeat across different landscapes. Each cut reinforces the same reality. Control of the air shapes what happens below. Positions that seem safe from one angle become exposed from another. Movement itself becomes the defining risk. As the sequence continues, the viewer is left without a clear narrative arc. There is no conclusion offered, only repetition. The final shots slow slightly, returning to empty terrain. The montage ends as it began, with silence and distance. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like.